Yamaha's Grizzly 700 has been high on our want to like list for some time. When it was first released, it was a serious contender in what was at the time the big bore 4x4 class, but time and its competition have marched on. And incremental changes will only get you so far. While its competition saw motor upgrades, new chassis, and complete redesigns, the Grizzly has stayed very much the same. Until now, that is. I'm not going to try and suggest the changes Yamaha has made to the 2014 Grizzly constitute a complete redesign, and I'm not going to suggest they put it on par with today's 800 class rides. From the outside, you might not see anything different, but the changes made inside the 2014 Grizzly are way more than just fluff, and they go a long way towards making this vehicle more competitive in its class. The 700cc fuel-injected single found in the Grizzly has always been an extremely reliable engine that produced decent power when you take into account its one-cylinder handicap. It's got good bottom end, pulls hard through the mid-range, and posts decent top-end numbers. But it's always lacked that wow factor we get with vehicles with similar displacement spread across multiple cylinders. For 2014, Yamaha has reworked the Grizzly's motor with a new forged piston and updated cylinder head design. While they haven't gained any more horsepower, the improvement in bottom end pull is significant. For the most part, it's the low end power that makes an ATV feel fast in the woods anyway, so this is a good improvement for the Grizzly. But at 45.6 horsepower, it's still lagging behind its big bore competition. Even Polaris' Sportsman 570 puts out 44 horsepower, and Can-Am's Outlander 650 puts out 62. While these new motor updates to the Grizzly definitely make for a snappier and more responsive engine, we still think it's time for Yamaha, a self-proclaimed motor company, to release a more competitively powered Grizzly. It's the Grizzly's chassis and suspension that's received the majority of the improvements in 2014. Previous Grizzly models rode fine, but suffered from excessive chassis roll in the corners that often resulted in the inside rear wheel lifting off the ground during hard cornering. The problem we saw was twofold. First, the chassis and suspension were just too narrow, and second, the tires were just too tall and soft. A complete front and rear suspension redesign has netted the Grizzly 2 more inches in width, but it's comprised of much more than just longer A-arms. Both front and rear suspension setups have been reworked to provide a wider stance, longer stroking shock, and optimized geometry. The goal was flatter cornering, a plusher, smoother ride, and overall more precise and predictable handling. It only took a few miles on the trail to conclude these changes work really well. Where the old Grizz would roll onto its outside front tire in the corners, the new Grizzly stays flatter. Where the old Grizzly felt nervous in the front end, especially under braking, the new one feels completely settled and stable. Small bump compliance is drastically improved without sacrificing large bump resistance. Older Grizzly models always left me wondering if I was actually using all the available wheel travel in the bumps. But you can literally feel the increase in shock stroke on the new one, leaving no doubts the suspension is cycling all the way through. A new power steering system addresses one major complaint we had with old EPS-equipped Grizzlies. The new system is both speed and torque sensing and adjusts the level of output based on the vehicle speed, rider inputs, inputs from the wheels, and the currently selected 4x4 setting. Steering is light, it's predictable, but most importantly, it's stable, even at higher speeds. The off-center feeling of the old linear system is replaced with definite on-center confidence. We think the biggest problem with the 2014 Grizzly is that it really doesn't look any different than the 2013 model. Despite changes and upgrades that significantly improve the vehicle, the consumer may not even notice. On the other hand, this Grizzly is a good deal. It's slightly more than a Sportsman 570, but less than a similarly equipped Outlander 650. With improved bottom end pull, updated power steering, and vastly improved ride and handling, the 2014 Grizzly has impressed all of us here at DirtTrax, and we think it'll impress you too. If you enjoyed this video, post a comment and let us know what you think. Then, click this link to subscribe and that link for more great videos from DirtTrax TV.